Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a special episode
Woo-woo!
of Astrological Intentions.
Woo woo!
It is
champagne poppin'.
It is episode 208, July 18th, and our 4-year anniversary. Let's start it up at the top.
This is awesome.
I am Alex Reevy, your host, along with the 4-year farter herself.
Oh my gosh. Did you really have to do that?
There is a story behind that one.
Gosh, can we tell the story right now?
Not yet. Okay, let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Tuesday, July 19th, Mercury ingress Leo.
Be loud.
And Sandy's conflict day, Tuesday, July 19th, again, Sun opposed Pluto.
Turmoil at its best.
Friday, July 22nd, Sun ingress Leo.
Party time, be bold.
And Saturday, July 23rd, Mercury trine Jupiter.
Social butterfly.
And in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up 1, to be totally in love with something or someone, and upcoming, to be skilled in healing practices and to be one within yourself. Then on the horizon, we have our July astrology forecast, our USA Pluto return, part 1 and 2, our constellation bracelet workshop announcement, as well as our retreats. And in our house, we are celebrating our 4-year anniversary of Astrological Intentions podcast. So stay tuned to the end of the episode to learn about how we are going to celebrate. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river, wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, 4-year farter.
Don't say that word. I think you weren't allowed to say that, were you, as a child? Let me just explain that, because we were like preparing, like this is a celebration. We're 4 years old today.
Yes.
And maybe that's the whole reason why we got this. So and you said to me, do you have a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, we had to like make a big deal out of it for it being 4 years. This isn't just another week.
Yeah. This
is our 4-year anniversary. And I said, can we pop a bottle of champagne or something?
So I turned to
Alexa.
And I said, hey, give me the sound of a champagne bottle poppin'.
And couldn't.
And she said, but I can do this. Here is the sound of a fart. And I was like, that has nothing to do with champagne bottle popping. It doesn't sound anything like it. And she kept on.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fart under the sheets.
She had an entire library of fart sounds,
and
yet we could not get a sound of a bottle of champagne popping.
No, so I don't know if there's a connection there.
No.
So that's why here it is. 4-year anniversary.
That's why you're the 4-year farter.
Oh my! I figured it out, and how dare you call me that?
So let's go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you, everybody, for listening into this crazy, crazy podcast. If there are 4-year veterans out there with us, email me. Yes. I want to know, and I want to celebrate with you. So I do have a message from Claudia. She emailed in and said, Dear Sandy, or should I call you Sandra now? Mm-hmm. This is the email I've been waiting for since the day we had to cancel our well-planned trip. So what she's talking about is the Bali retreat email that you pretty much revived from pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. Everyone still kept in all of their money. Mm-hmm. They were ready to go. They were, had to wait now like 2 years. It was crazy. So Claudia says, this is the email I have been waiting for since the day we had to cancel our well-planned trip.
Did we pop the bottle of champagne already?
It popped. Yeah. It was heartbreaking for all of us. It's been over 2 years now, and this news couldn't have come to me at a better time. Thank you so much for bringing hope back and the vision of a magical star-aligned retreat with Alex and you and everybody else in our group. Hugs and love from Germany, Claudia.
Woo-woo!
So exciting.
Yeah, well, I did. I spent, the last month or so really driving in my Bali retreat. I am finding out that there's so many people rushing to Bali.
Mm-hmm.
There are anyway, year after year after year after week after week. Mm-hmm. But now that nobody's been able to get there, there is just an influx. So I really wanted to get all of our resort locked in and paid for and figured out. So we have the dates, April 1 through April 11. So it's a lot of 1/1s and locked in the retreat and signed contract and did all the deposits and let everybody know that had their monies in from the last time. So where we're staying, what the dates are, and hopefully it works out for them. But I have more space now.
Right.
I rented
we can
a bigger
take in more
space, so I have availability for any of you out there that want to go to Bali. You can put your $500 down now while we still are in the early bird.
Yes.
And that guarantees just $500 down, guarantees the early bird price. So that's all that information's on the website, intentionbeads.com/retreats. And you can put that down. Now, I know it seems like so far in advance, but it's really not. I always plan a year in advance, and here we are less than a year in advance. And so you can put your $500 down. If it turns out you cannot go, you can use that $500 for another retreat, because I do, or the next year, because I'll always go every year to Bali, every year to Mexico, and every year to now Greece. And if you're not able to go to any of the retreats, you can use that $500 for a product or webinars or any of the workshops that I hold. So you're not losing your money. You're just guaranteeing yourself a early bird. And the full amount of money is not due till the end of the year. So
So
I'm excited about Bali.
Yeah. Yes. And let's move into the transits. So I'm going to quick refresh us because early this morning, Monday, July 18th, Mercury was opposing Pluto. We talked about this last week, but I just wanted to bring this back into the realms just in case anyone was, interested in learning more.
Well, this is what I called, keep your thoughts to yourself. Keep your cards close to your chest. This is an opposition to Pluto. To me, this is about news. Secrets are being revealed in the news. So watch your news feeds. Don't go into other people's propaganda. The conspiracy theories, or this is stay with the correct, true information, even though it's hard to do. So this is revealing of what's beneath the surface. It kind of equates to that full moon that we had, that super moon, perigee moon, moon was conjunct Pluto, that we had earlier in the week last week. That was about seeing below the surface. Now the messages are out. They're more out in the open. Yeah. And so that's what we start with as we wake up on Monday morning.
Right. And so Tuesday, July 19th, it's actually your conflict day, but it's not technically this transit that we're discussing right now, which is Mercury ingress Leo.
Right. By 7:30 in the morning, the planet of communication has moved into the Leo, the fire fixed spot
the
of
gregarious sign.
Being loud and proud. The messenger is in Leo, where he can profess how the games are played and he can set the rules. So follow his lead. This all information that is gathered and shared is key to your coming out party. right? And it is kind of like this joyous, loud, and proud party
with royal trumpets and and flags and basically like a big debutante ball.
Right. It's fun. It's
Right.
entertaining.
Right. And so the second and final transit of Tuesday, July 19th is the reason why you call this your conflict day, and that is Sun opposed Leo.
Well, Sun opposed Pluto.
I read the wrong line. Yes, Sun opposed Pluto.
Sun opposed Pluto, turmoil at its best. Be aware of those opposing you. Or come to think about it. Am I opposing them? Because by thinking about this phrase, are they against me or am I against them? Because if I push too hard, then others, they get to push back. And now we're in a power struggle. Mm-hmm. Now we're in this opposing, because, an opposition is two people on two ends of the extremes going, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. And they're getting louder and louder because we got this, we're about to move into the Leo section.
Right.
The Sun's about to move into his own domicile. But for here, he's still in Cancer. So it could be, it's just calm yourself down. Mm-hmm. Take some deep breaths, maybe go to the water, hear some, tinkling of waterfalls or something, because the sun here is still in the last few degrees of Cancer.
Okay. So Friday, July 22nd, we fast forward to later in the week with Sun ingress Leo.
This is party time.
Okay.
This is be bold and be out there. Today begins the 30 days where your audience loves you because you love them. Mm-hmm. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, do I love my audience or does my audience love me? And that's why I love them and they love me because I love them, right? It's just this really nice infinity sign.
Yeah.
And, I really like this day. Happy birthday to all my Leo friends.
Yes. Happy birthday, Leos.
Yeah. And all you Leo risings, of which I'm one. Mm-hmm. The sun is about to come up on all of our ascendants. So the ruler of our ascendant, if you're a Leo rising, is about to make his mark.
Mm. And Saturday, July 23rd, Mercury trine Jupiter.
Social butterfly. I really like this. This is about sipping on many ideas and potions. So we get this feeling of abundant, of getting more, of ingesting more, of, it's Mercury wanting more information, wanting to share, wanting to, it's in Leo. It just moved into Leo on Tuesday. So it's about, singing loud. Maybe it's a karaoke, and it's trining Jupiter. And Jupiter wants more. So this seems to be like a really big party, and it's a Saturday. So, maybe this is an all day affair, an all day party that you can be going to
all week.
All week. I want to go back and go look, and and if you follow us for 4 years, you've got 4 years of calendars somewhere within your reach. But we're not going back that far. We're just going back to March 21st of this year, of course. Mm-hmm. Go back to March 24th when Mercury was conjunct Jupiter, right? Where we had maybe an idea or a situation or an opportunity came up, an email, a text. You text someone, they text you, something began. And then on April 27th, we get the sextile that says, okay, take this opportunity to move it forward. And I want to just see if there's any correlation in anyone's, calendar in projects or life opportunities that you can correlate this Saturday, July 23rd to. Is it now working well? Is it harmonized? You've figured out all of the, the wrinkles and the crinks and the crunks. Because, I want to talk about Venus here for a second, because Venus rules both bounds of the 8 degrees of Leo and 8 degrees of Aries, where both of these planets are sitting. And so Venus, and I talk about bounds often. I'm more and more into bounds especially when I do readings, to see how the sub manager, the assistant maybe is working out, and it's through Venus's perceptions where she wants to make connections. So this to me is more about trade and commerce. It's also about overseas travel. And, just as we're announcing our Bali retreat, here we are announcing, well, maybe this is a good day for us to send out the email. Although, there's a lot of things to do in order to do that, I know.
Right.
And you're looking at me with cross-eyed. That it's just social butterfly. You've seen, where you don't stay in one spot at a party, or you're gathering, and neither does a butterfly. A butterfly goes from pollen to pollen, flower to flower to get his fill, especially this time of the year when all the flowers are completely opened.
And that was the imagery I was getting with that social butterfly type of, kind of like wanting and having the hunger for so many different things, and really jumping from one place to another, collecting, this nectar, this really great information. So seems like a good week. I mean, we do have the conflict day of the month. However, not so bad.
if you're noticing, if you at least know that there's somebody on the other side, maybe having a different opinion on Tuesday, be aware of that.
I think that's a definite.
And you can easily get through the conflict day, because certainly, by Friday, Saturday, it's calmed down for sure.
And I think even within opposition, arguments, kind of like these like polarized spaces, there are really two, if you consider it like a seesaw, there really only are two like different ways to make it work. Like, each of you have time to jump up in the air and be heard, while you have to come back down and also listen to the other person. And it's kind of this like, this trade-off. Or you both keep walking towards the crux, towards the middle, and it just starts balancing out. Find those places of agreement of where your arguments or where your beliefs kind of intersect, and find if you can have that space there.
And then really, I'm liking that imagery, because as we're on the ends, you go toward the center, you agree on something, and then you go back out toward the extremes again, and see if you can have a different perspective of that.
I like that. That's more realistic. Mine's like, no, we'll just hug and embrace in the middle of the crux, and then we're all beautiful and fine.
Well, and this is Pluto. It's like Pluto needs to get to the bottom, gets to the truth.
Right.
And so we don't have to be afraid of someone's truth, because that means they should not be afraid of our truth. And so this is coming to equalization. Like, I understand, like, if you could just get this, if you could get a response that says, I hear you, and I understand where you're coming from.
I respect your position.
I respect that perspective. I just don't feel that way. If you can come to that, wow. Yeah, and that person really means it.
Right.
Right. Versus, brushing it off.
So let's move into talisman times. You finished one talisman early this morning, Monday, July 18th, to totally be in love with something or someone.
I rise up from the nourishing, murky waters I originated from, to sip the beauty, peace, and harmony in my divine-filled life.
Yeah, that sounds peaceful.
Isn't this gorgeous? This is so nice. This is the moon is in the 10th house. And Venus at 0 degrees of Cancer, which Venus does very well in Cancer. It's not her rulership, it's not her exaltation, but she does really nice. And it's in the first, what they call decan of Cancer, rising over the horizon. And so it really is about kind of connection, like a emotional connection, of fruitfulness, of blossoming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that one is sold.
That's a pre-sale.
Right.
So she was the client of mine, who was her birthday, and she got up in the middle of the night like I did, and
created the talisman.
And she, what you do is, while I create the talisman, you're saying the intention and the affirmation for that 30 minutes that it takes me, and you're asking the universe, and I tell you, who you're talking to. This is, you're talking to Venus and the moon here, to give you what this love connection is to something or someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to open the gates. So let's talk about the upcoming talisman times that you have. Tuesday, July 19th, to be skilled in healing practices.
I announce purposeful rituals as I come before you. I lead using my diverse abilities so that all may rise up bright and healthy every morning.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I really like that. Right? I want that one.
I know. It's available.
Okay.
Go to the website and you can
pre-sale talisman.
It's up on the website already. And this is, the sun is now at 26 degrees, rising up over the horizon, 26 degrees of Cancer. And we have a fixed star there, and that's Procyon. And that's the throat of the little dog, which is about the goddess of healing. It's about cleansing rituals. It's considered Orion's second hound, Orion the hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So, and always Procyon rises before the brightest star, Sirius, comes in. So he's like heralding the one that comes before. So it's before the brightness. So that's what, about rising up healthy and bright every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I love
that one. I love that one.
Yeah, I'll make one.
And
this is at 5:36 a.m. This is an early one.
Yeah.
So it is because the sun's rising over the horizon at this moment on this fixed star. That doesn't happen every year.
Mm-hmm.
Does not happen every year.
So the next talisman time that we're going to be discussing is the following week, Tuesday, July 26th, to be one within self.
I hold my space sacred. My royalty is my garden. This queen thrives here, where I easily cultivate all my regal powers. Yeah, this
very
is
royal.
Yeah, the moon coming up on the ascendant in Cancer, where the moon is in rulership of Cancer, making a conjunction to Venus in the second decan. And so this is just about having boundaries to thrive and having it just a beautiful, like, garden section and, full bloom.
Yeah.
Right. And that this is where this sounds like it's something that would be for my mom. She lives this.
Right.
Power.
She is the queen of her garden domain.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's whether it's symbolic or material, it's just living in your garden space is sacred.
Yes. And so a quick reminder, the Talisman of the Month is sold out. So tune in next month for when we will announce the August Talisman of the Month. So let's move on the horizon. We have finished up the July astrology forecast along with the July cheat sheet. If you have not received that yet, if you haven't downloaded it yet, you are very late. You need to do that this week and take a look at what has been happening for you this month and see if you can correlate any of your meetings, any of your occurrences with those transits. And also, we just finished up our USA's Pluto Return Part 2 series of 3. And that is available to watch and stream right now. So you can click on that link and be transported straight over and watch. It's Sandy and Susan did a really great job at documenting what has been going on during these Pluto returns, what it means, what themes we really need to be focusing and paying attention to that Pluto is highlighting for us. Also, if you weren't there for the part 1 of the series, that is available as well. Links are in the description. Also, August 29th is the start of our Fall Equinox Constellation Bracelet Workshop. That happens all the way until October 11th. So if you are interested in joining us, it is a transformational process where you hand create, along with Sandy and a small group, a talisman that really fits this process that you're going through, whatever that process is. We have had people who have had to let go of loved ones because their loved ones were passing away. We've had people starting businesses. We've had people writing books.
Several. Our last group had 2 people published books.
Right. So
and number 1 bestseller published books.
Right. People going through relationship troubles, people going through, there's
meaning no new relationships.
Right. So it's a really wonderful, tight-knit community that is there for you at crucial, pivotal transit moments. So click on the link. You can learn more. Of course, email us if you have any questions. Then we also have our retreats. Those are all listed here in the description, along with the links to throw down your deposit. And remember that deposit is not forsaken or wasted. You can really mobilize that money for another retreat, for products, for whatever you want. So let's move into our house. We have a big announcement.
Champagne pop.
Don't ask Alexa to do that. So we are celebrating our 4-year anniversary of this podcast. And
so much has happened since then. But this has been weekly. We have not missed a week. I know that first day. I just want to reminisce for a second, okay?
Yeah.
You have things on your mind or agenda that I don't even know about most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. You're admitting it. And I didn't know this, but you were like, oh, podcasts seem to be the thing. And we're going to start a podcast. Now I just have to find a producer. Mm-hmm. And
well, because I thought we could share so much information. There is so much to be talked about astrology, but go on.
And that's kind of where I've got something up my sleeve that you mentioned earlier, but not on the podcast. So if I remember, I'll talk about this then.
Okay.
In a little bit.
Okay.
But the day you came, you went to the beach with some friends and you were doing your slacklining,
which I'm so excited to get back out on my slackline. That's going to be happening very, very soon.
Well, it has to, because
I know
that 4 years.
I have to do it once a year. At least
at the anniversary.
Right.
And you met some other friends of friends. Everybody shows up at a slackline, even if you don't know anybody. And you were talking to someone that had come up, and they were.
I had my ukulele with me.
Yeah.
And we were just playing songs and singing along, because in between slacklining, your legs tend to get pretty sore because you're stepping up and down off the tight rope. And if you've ever tried it, you know that the first time, like, your legs are shaking like crazy. And
I tried it once.
You did?
Yeah.
And so I was playing. I got invited to like a jam session where there was like a whole studio with microphones and the egg crate, walls, and it was just so cool. And this person who owned the studio had mentioned, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a podcast production company." And I was like, this is perfect. This is what I want. So I just mentioned, my mother and I, we have a astrology talisman company, and I just think it would be really cool to explore and see what a podcast could turn out like. And that was Aaron. He turned out to be our podcast producer. He was our biggest cheerleader. And then, it turned out to be
something we liked. I thought, oh my gosh, okay, Mom, we're going Sunday for a meet and greet, and we're going to do some recordings and see. And I'm like, if I sound, I don't like my voice on any recording devices that I've ever heard. And I heard it from his microphones and speakers. And it was like, who is that speaking? She sounds interesting. And it was me, right?
Right.
So I said, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this. And we have not missed 1 week.
Which is so impressive. I mean, when you think about it, that is so impressive. And I just want to give us a pat on the back, a hooray that, we've really committed to this and we've shown up, and all of our listeners have shown up. They've given us so much feedback, so much love and support, and
the whole reason why we do this.
Right.
And it's fun. We do really enjoy it. I think it helps me as an astrologer to, get ahead and look ahead like I do. Mm-hmm. You have to anyway, especially with readings, and just to keep us on, what are we going to talk about in our house, and what's going direct. We have all these segments that are astrologically, they're terms. They're terms of astrology. Going direct is a term. In the transits is a term. Talisman times, because I'm a talisman maker. And on the horizon, is the
more
ascendant.
Like the ascendant.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And what's going on in the future for us, and then our house. So all of these, and I don't know if I want to add another one, but you had mentioned that I'm having, my readings, my client, whether it's subscription or my one-off clients, and never will I ever, ever, ever mention someone's name, or there'll be no recognition of anyone that you would know. If I had said, Sun in Leo, there's millions of people with Sun in Leo. Mm-hmm. But I'd really like to add something on the podcast as to, something that's going on in a client's life and how the astrology is speaking to that.
Yeah, I think that could even be a part of going direct or you would want to create that every week.
I don't know. But I was just.
Welcome to our ideation phase, everyone, on the podcast. So that's really interesting. We can look into that.
We'll see how that fits. But back to the 4-year anniversary celebration. We want to do a sale.
Right.
And a drawing.
Right. So we are going to be doing an orbit necklace sale. When you buy one, you get one free, and you can buy as many and get as many free. So these are great gifts. They're going to be basically 50% off, and
which is $15. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
$15.
That's where you're going. Yeah. So you'll get, they're $29.95, but buying one, you get another one free. So it's like 50% off. And you get to choose, it's not the same one. You could choose the same one, but it can be another one that you either want to gift or you want to for yourself.
Right. And with every orbit purchased, your name is going to be added to a raffle for a free 1-hour reading with Sandy.
Yep.
We're really excited about this. We will be announcing the winner soon, if not in the next,
maybe 2 weeks. We'll say
we'll do 2 weeks. So that you have time to really look around, figure out what orbit it is that you want. Maybe one for a friend, one for a mother, for a sister.
Early Christmas shopping.
Or early Christmas shopping. But yeah, I think that this is going to be one way for us to say thank you to all of the listeners for hanging in there with us and hanging out with us and being such a supportive team.
Yeah, and we'll make that announcement on air in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So you have 2 weeks to shop.
Yes, and I will be adding everyone's name into the raffle, and we'll get a drum roll together soon.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I think that is all for our podcast, this 4-year anniversary special edition episode. Thank you everyone for listening in, and we will talk to you next week.
Champagne bottle pop.
Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story